Alrighty, so hello everyone. I made a mistake with the previous tutorial on like a lot of things. So what we're going to do is we're going to start again, and I've removed the profile picture from down here so that you can see my screen like I can see it. Okay, so in this tutorial, I'm pretty sure I've put what you need, like Blender and the track for all of this stuff for the face meshing process. So that's good. Okay, let's begin. So firstly, what you want to do is you want to open up a new tab and just find any face on the internet. So let's go with James the Red Engine face. Okay, so just find any face at all. It doesn't matter which one, but it has to be a face. So for this video, I'm going to find just a Thomas face. Thomas the Tank Engine face. To find any face on the internet like this one. If you want, I don't really care. You could use this one. It's completely up to you. Then what you want to do is you want to have installed paint.net so you can actually put the face into Blender. So we'll just wait for paint.net to load. Takes a while. Okay. So then what you want to do is when it loads, you want to open up paint.net. Just give it a minute to load. All right. So click image up here, and then click canvas size. Change the canvas size to 512 by 512. Then it will just be like a perfect square. Then grab your image and paste it here. Make sure you keep canvas size. Okay. Now what you want to do is you want to scale it so that it fits and there are no like little white bits. So it should look something like this. Now, make sure you save it to a folder for face meshes. And in like make sure you save the face meshes in a folder. Just any folder, it doesn't really matter. Now, name this face. Now, before you save this, make sure you click this thing down here and change that to Tarja. That's going to come in very important later. Okay, so save that there. Click OK, and see that's saved now. Now, what you want to do is you want to open up Blender just to the default thing with the cube. You want to get rid of the cube and get rid of this little thing here. Then what you want to do is you want to grab, I've put a link for track in the description. You need to get this track, wherever it is. You want to get this track and make sure everything is selected, and do Control-C to copy it. Go back to your new thing and paste it. I have to delete these again because I didn't have anything. So it should look something like this. Then, down here is a little layer thing. Well, these aren't really layers. These are just like separate little things. What you want to do is you want to go from this to this layer. You want to go from the layer that the track is on to the layer next to it or below it. It doesn't really matter. Then what you want to do is you want to go over to the side here, click create, and then press circle. Then what you want to do is you want to rotate it by pressing R, press X to go along the X-axis, and then press 9 and 0 on your keyboard. Scale it up. Not scale it up, sorry. Move it up. Then you've got your circle here. Then what you want to do is you want to press Tab. Make sure everything is selected. If it's not selected, it will look like this. If it is selected, it will all be yellow. Once everything is selected, make sure you press F. So then it comes out looking a little something like that. Then what you want to do is you want to press A to select it all again. Press 1 on your numpad to go into front view. And then there will be 3 lines up here. What you want to do is, what you want to do firstly is press U with everything selected. Press U and then click unwrap. Then what you want to do is you want to go to these 3 lines up in the top right corner and drag it across so it looks a little something like this. Then what you want to do is click this little cube down here on the right screen and then go to UV/image editor. And it should look a little something like this. Now what you want to do is you want to go down here, click open, and then find the folder where you saved your face. So for example, mine's in the new folder for the tutorial. You want to double click that face to open it up. And it should look something like this. And when you go into texture mode, if it's tilted, make sure everything is selected here, and you can just rotate it by pressing the R key. There, so it should look something like this. Make sure the way to tell if it's the front or the back is that the front will usually align with the picture. The back will usually be flipped. What you want to do is you want to grab the back and then press E and move your mouse to the right about that far. Then it should look something like this so far. If it doesn't, I don't know what you've done. Then what you want to do is down here there's a little selection thing. You need to click this one. There's this one with all of the little dots. There's this one with all the lines and no dots. And then there's this one, which is similar to the dots, except it all looks like this. It's got little dots across here. Also down here, you can click this circle and then go to texture mode. What you want to do is you want to select the lines, hold Alt, and then right click about here. So then that whole front face is selected. And then what you want to do is you want to press W, then click bevel. Then move your mouse like this. Then scroll up about 2 times. You can adjust that as needed, but I like going somewhere there. So then it's got that smooth thing there. Now what you want to do is you want to click this, go back to solid, and if it looks like this is very important. It can't look like this, otherwise it'll look weird in Trainz. What you want to do is you want to click Tab to go back into edit mode. Tab is how you coordinate between edit mode and object mode. Press A on your keyboard. Go to shading/UVs. and then press recalculate. So then it'll look like that, which will work in Trainz. Then what you want to do is you want to go to Tools and press Smooth. So then it does look a bit weird, but when it goes into Trainz, it'll look really good. Then go back into texture mode and look at your beautiful creation. And click the little picnic blanket here. This is the bit that I missed in the previous tutorial, which is why this is going on again. Then press New. Then press just click any of these. Press New. Press Open. And then go to the same folder where the face is. Double click the face. Make sure to uncheck alpha. Make sure alpha is turned off. This is very important. And then what you want to do is wait, I've done something wrong. Make sure there's a little button here somewhere. It's like UV mapping. Wait, I'm trying to figure out why this isn't popping up. Okay. I don't know why this isn't popping up. Okay, let's try this. Delete that. Get rid of that. And go into edit mode and select everything. Then click New. Press Open. And then again find the folder where your face is kept. Okay. Oh, that's why. Okay, so I missed out on something. You need to go to... Okay, let's just start all over again. After you've made your face mesh, okay, go to this little thing. It looks like a little checkerboard or whatever. Press New Texture and change the intensity here to 1 and change the intensity here to 0.1. Make sure that's done because that's important. Then go to the picnic blanket, add the texture, click Open, find the thing, yada, yada, yada. And then scroll down to Mapping. Where it says Map here, click on this, and then click UV Map. This is what the problem was with the previous thing. The previous tutorial. I forgot to do that. So, move that across now. And we're going to do the same thing with the square face mesh, except this time we're going to add a plane. So rotate x-axis 90 degrees. Then move it there. Then go here. Go to UV/image editor. Don't forget that tab coordinates between object mode and edit mode. Click Open, Face Meshes, then find the folder where you've kept your face, add the face there, and that doesn't really need any adjusting. Then once you've done that, click the back, press E to extrude, using this one, preferably, using this thing here. Then go to here, click the lines, hold Alt, right-click. Okay. For the square ones, it's pretty difficult. So just select the face select and just click the front. Then what you want to do is W, bevel, and then scroll up twice. You can adjust that as needed, but I like doing it about there. Then you can close that now. Then press, now go back into solid mode. Go to edit mode, select everything with A, and recalculate. Then what you want to do is you want to go to tools. Make sure you're out of edit mode once you've done that. So once you've recalculated everything, go back into object mode. Go to shading here, click smooth, and then it'll look something like that. Then what you can do to save time is you can just right click this now, go to the checkerboard up here, and then select the same material as before. Oh, no, that's the wrong material. Okay, you can't do that. So you have to create a new material, change the intensity to 1, and the intensity here to 0.1. Then what you want to do, go back to texture mode, click the little checkerboard up here, click new, click open. Now go tutorial, find the face, add it, scroll down to mapping, and then add the UV map. So that's the face meshes done. These will now work in Trainz. Now for the measurement bit, what you want to do is, okay, we're going to need an engine for an example. So what we're going to use, firstly, you'll need to open up Trainz, yes. But what you'll also need to do is click File up here, Save, and then save this to like a Blender folder called something like Face Mesh Measurements for Trainz. You can call it anything, but make sure you keep the .blend. You can't just get rid of it because then it won't work. Click Save, Blender file, and that'll save as that. Now what you want to do is you want to find your engine that you want to face mesh. For an example, we're going to use this engine. This is a part of one of my friend's series called Core Railway Tales, and we're going to make a new face mesh for it today. You just need to wait for it to load. Right-click, find the engine, right-click it, click Open, and then press Preview Asset. Then this little thing will open up. We need to make a new face mesh. So what you want to do then is scroll about here, then use any form of screenshotting. I don't really care which one it's used. Click New. Oh, no, just like take the screenshot. Something like that. Make sure you get from above the funnel to below the wheels, like I've done here. Copy that, go back into Paint, and paste it. Then what you want to do is you want to save it as anything. It doesn't really matter. Just save it anywhere as anything. I'm just going to name it Stratford Front View for Mesh. Right. Now what you want to do is you want to go back into Blender, go back to the first layer with the track, press 1 on the numpad for the front view. Also, I should probably let you guys know this now. When you press 5, it toggles between different views. Make sure you press 5 to get a flat view. I probably should have said that at the start. But go down to the very bottom on the side menu here, which you can get rid of by pressing N on your keyboard. Click Background Images, Add Image, then Open. And then find that image that you saved. So mine one was Stratford front view for the mesh. And it might come out something like this, like gigantic. So what you want to do is you want to scale it down, move it up. It does take a bit of fidgeting to get this right. But make sure it's like almost perfect. Like as good as you can get it. Make sure the wheels are resting on the tracks. Make sure it looks a little something like this. Then grab the circle, grab the face mesh, whether you're face meshing a steam engine or a diesel. Control C to copy the circle face mesh, Control V to paste it here, and make sure it's scaled correctly. You can use S on your keyboard to scale it. Make sure it's scaled just right. So then it covers up all of the smoke box details like that. So it should look a little something like this. Now, depending on how big the smoke box door is, you are going to have to adjust this back bit here by just grabbing that and moving it closer. That's just me. Okay, so now that you've got this, you want to save that, copy that measured out face mesh. Then you want to open up a new file and paste it. Make sure you get rid of the square and this thing again. Press 5 on your numpad and press 1 on the numpad too. So now that you've got this, save this new file in the same place that you saved the other thing as face mesh export for Trainz or something like that. This is just an example. Save Blender file. And now what you can do is you can go File, Export, Trainz mesh and animation. And this bit is very important. Make sure that you save the face mesh in the same folder where the face is. So for example, the face that I used for my engine is in the folder called New Folder for the tutorial. You make sure you save it here and save it as any face mesh that you want. So for this case, I'm going to name it Stratford face mesh. Okay. Click Export Trainz. And if you've done everything correctly, it should say up here, export finished successfully. Right. Now, this is the bit where you add the face mesh to the front of the engine. So, because this engine is already face meshed, it's going to be pretty easy. So what you want to do is you want to open up the engine that you want to face mesh in Explorer by simply right-clicking, Open, Show in Explorer. Then you want to grab another engine that is face meshed, for example, the old Stratford, which is what I'm going to use. Open, Show in Explorer, and just move that. Just grab that and move it over to this side. Now, in a normal engine, my script and super stub usually won't be there. So what you want to do is you want to grab my script and super stub from the other engine and right click and drag it over to here and press copy here. So that'll be there. Then what you want to do is you want to go to the body and open up a new folder. Then find where you saved that face mesh And see, now it's made a thing, because this already has face.texture, and the mesh. I'll just get rid of those for the purpose of this video. You need to grab the face.texture, the face.targer, and the face mesh. Make sure it's the IM file, not the log or the XML. Make sure it's the IM file. Right click, drag it over here, copy here, and there, that's there now. Now, what you want to do is you can close this folder now, but not the actual other engine folder. Click on the config and open both configs up. Now, where it says class and script here, it won't usually say my script, it'll say something else. Make sure you change the class and the script here to my script. Otherwise, the faces won't change. Then you need the extensions area. You just need to copy it from this engine and paste it. Some engines won't have extensions, but that's okay. You can just easily add the extensions just above the mesh table. Now what you want to do is you want to scroll down the mesh table and add this bit here. And because we've already done that, it'll already pop up like that. Now, what will happen is sometimes engines don't have a body here. Sometimes all the textures are just in one area, and that's okay. All you need to do to fix that is just delete that. But because it does have a body, we need to keep that. Make sure you change this bit before where it says IM to the name of the face mesh. Now, you don't need to do capitals. It doesn't really matter. Make sure, another thing, before we continue, make sure that this bit here is exactly the same as this, except you don't need the txt. So if it says, for example, if it says face.texture here, and this one says face.texture, it won't work. So you need to get rid of one of the faces and make sure it's saved as face.texture. Now what you want to do is you want to scroll down all the way to the bottom, and on some engines, liveries, code lib, and ACS lib will not be there. Some engines will have code lib and some engines will have ACS lib, and that's okay. If some engines have liveries, that means if you add the new thing, it probably won't work. Like if you add the faces, it probably won't work. Make sure you add liveries, code lib, and ACS lib. Now, this is very important. If you ever want to change the face of a locomotive, liveries is where you're going. The liveries has, if you change the coord here to a face, so for example, if you want James's faces here, liveries is what you're changing to change the face. Okay, now all you need to do is close that, make sure it's saved, close all of that, submit the edits for both of these, and you go to the engine that you have just face meshed and preview asset. Now, sometimes the mesh will be in the middle of the engine, and that's okay. All you need to do, I'll teach you this now, so then you don't have to go to another video. These bits here where it says position, this changes where the face mesh is. This one here, which is usually number 0, is left and right. This one is up and down. And this one is forwards and backwards. We want to change this one to negative around 4. It doesn't really matter for this tutorial, for the tutorial purposes. Once you've done that, close it, save it, submit the edits, and you will need to fidget around with this a little bit to make sure it works. But this is what we're going to go with for now. Actually, I'll probably just move it a little bit more. Sometimes the face mesh won't come out as perfect as you want it to come out. So, like, sometimes the face mesh will be smaller, sometimes it'll be bigger, but that's okay. All you need to do, let me just check this is fitting relatively well. Yeah, sometimes it'll sometimes it'll be a lot smaller than the engine. So all you need to do is go back to Blender where the export area is, right click the face mesh and just drag it out a little bit. And that's literally how you fix that issue. Make sure you save that, export it again to the same spot where the face is. Now, if you want to be lazy with your names, just get the same name as the original one and add 1 or 2 or however many face meshes you've tried and just save it. Just export it. Then what you can do is open in Explorer, go to the body, delete the old mesh, and add the new mesh. It's not going to automatically add itself, obviously. Yeah, just right-click, drag the new mesh over here, and then go to the config, scroll down to where the mesh is added, and just change the name here to whatever it's called. Because again, that's not automatically going to change. So then submit the edits. Preview the asset, and there you go. You've now successfully exported a face mesh and put it into Trainz, which is very good. If it looks like this, where it's like flat, or it's like smooth along the edges, that's good. That means you've done it right. If you have any further issues, I will provide my Discord in the pinned comment, and you guys can talk to me about it there. All right. I think that's it. Again, if you have any further questions, make sure to talk to me about it on my Discord, which I will provide in the link below. In the comments below, the pinned comment. And yeah, I'll see you guys later.